Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my podcast channel, The Shaida Effect. Today we are episode 5. Okay, fine. I'm gonna do it properly. Okay. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Welcome back to my podcast channel, The Shaida Effect. Today we are on episode 5. We're going to talk about something that's I don't know what will it be, what will you guys think when you hear about this? It's about marriage. Yes, marriage. So I'm going to talk about this alone today because I don't know. Anyway, okay, this is just testing. Marriage from a lady's perspective. So I'm at that age where I'm starting to think about all those things, like preparing for the next phase. And the people around me are also talking about the same thing and experiencing the same, they're going through that phase basically. And I feel like it's such a much needed topic to be addressed. Because when you're in your 20s, it doesn't matter whether it's like in your early 20s, mid 20s, or even late 20s, or heck, even way beyond your 20s, marriage is something that somehow important. I don't know. Well, to me, marriage is I have nothing against marriage because I feel like it's a beautiful union between two people. And personally, I find it an exciting topic, but it can be like overwhelming sometimes. I don't know, but should I mix with Malay as well? I don't know. And even my voice today is so, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm not meant for this kind of thing, but I just want to put it out there. Yeah. And my thoughts are all jumbled up. So actually this is such a difficult topic to tackle. Like when you read books, when you watch videos, listen to lectures, it seems simple and very idealistic, but actually it's not. It doesn't seem that way. It's actually very bersimpang siur, especially the journey to find that person. It's really hard because you don't get to focus on love semata-mata because you need to think about the long term. You want to sehidup semati with that person, and yeah. So I've actually came up with a few questions for me to address. Before that, I really wanted to share this one ayat from the Quran, from Surah Al-Baqarah. Hold on. Okay, it's really interesting. Before this, I didn't exactly understand this ayat, but from this book that I've been reading, a healthy Muslim marriage by Mufti Abdul Rahman Ibn Yusuf Mangira, the ayat goes like this: Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. The meaning is, they are a garment to you and you are a garment to them. Now this is from the second surah of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 187. When I first read this ayat many moments ago, a long time ago, basically, like a garment, they are a garment to you and you are a garment to them. Like you are your spouse's garment and they are like you are each other's garment. I was like, okay, what does that mean? So but this ustad, he explained it beautifully. He said, the concept of clothing carries many different subtleties and meanings, making it an appropriate analogy for the relationship between husband and wife, because clothing is used to beautify, honor, and protect the human being. And he further states from tafsir Tafsir Ibn Kathir that clothing acts as a guard or even protection. And aside from that, clothing is also something that is truly intimate to us. Don't you think so? Like it's something that we held close to the body. Now that we think about it, the most physical thing that is close to us is our clothes, right? And it's just amazing. When I read this, I was like, oh, that is absolutely right. Like clothing are the next most intimate physical thing. Like you've never, most of the time you are in your clothes, like rarely you get to be naked. So, and the analogy that your spouse is like a garment to you, it's so beautiful. It demonstrates that your spouse should be someone that is intimate with you, like your guard, and brings some kind of protection, and you too to them. It's like a win-win. No, it's like a two-way street. Yeah, it's not like it is a two-way street. So I've never been someone who's so positive about marriage, but these days I'm trying to change that perspective, because it's not good. Because when I do lots of reading and watch many lectures and listen to podcasts regarding this, I feel like Allah, yeah, obviously around us people, we see broken marriages and all that, but to be honest, Allah, like ideally Allah bestow upon people marriage that are sweet, something like that. So the first question I have here, what's your dream marriage? What's my dream marriage? Well, it's very hard to think about this because I don't exactly have a specific outlook on how it's going to look like, but obviously all good things, I don't exactly expect for us to have like big house or rich or anything, but the three things I would really want in my marriage is sakina, which means tranquility, mawaddah. Mawaddah is what? I think it's something like compassion. Yeah, mawaddah is compassion, and warahmah, mercy. So I want tranquility, compassion, and mercy in my marriage, because I believe if my marriage embodies all those three elements, then inshallah it's going to be a very blessed one. So the second one, I wrote here that preparations are important, and how are we going to make preparations towards that, that as in marriage, in terms of mentally, emotionally, and physically. Yeah, like you can't just jump right into marriage. Obviously you will have to make some kind of preparations. Even when you take exams, you make preparations towards it, and you will never actually feel ready. Do you realize that when, even though you've prepared so much, you will never ever be ready for it? Like you might, like maybe around like 99.9%, but never like 100% fully ready. But you know what's beautiful about it is that you've prepared for it, and somehow you are, even though it's 99.9%, you just serahkan, because you've already worked hard for it, and then you tawakal, you serahkan to Allah for the outcome, and really put trust that all is going to go well, inshallah. So in my opinion, you really have to, like, because marriage is a big deal. Because it's not just you now, you're going to share your life with another person. To me, it's really scary. Can you imagine, like, you're going to share your life with another person? Like, let that sink in. Like, a stranger. I know, yeah, you will get to know that person during the ta'aruf, but but like it's so scary. You're going to share everything with him or her, your bed, your home. You are going to expose yourself in terms of your truths. It's so scary, when you think about it. And then you have to spend 24/7 with them. So isn't it like it's so basic that you would have to prepare yourself to be the best version of yourself, um, so that you won't go into that marriage bringing your emotional baggage with you. You have to be prepared in that sense, so that because you're not hoping for that person to support you, because you have to offer support for that person as well. It's a two-way street. It's a collaboration. It's a partnership. You are in this together, like gitu. So mentally, okay, fine, emotionally, you have to have all of your emotions in check. I know humans are generally very emotional beings, but you have to have control, management of your anger, of your whatever kinds of emotions that are negative, because remember, you are sharing your life with another person, and you are not just marrying him or her, you are going to marry their family as well. Remember that. Yes, it's not just them, it's also their family. And dari segi mental, you have to betulkan your mindset. Like I think it's kind of hand in hand with emotional as well, mental, emotional. You have to have this mindset that you are not going to be you are still going to be your individual, but you are going to be someone's wife, someone else's daughter, like daughter-in-law. And in the future, you are going to be someone's mother. Like it's a very, very huge responsibility. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot. You cannot be that selfish anymore. You have to think about compromising and things like that. And in terms of physically, like, you have to consider whether you are financially stable or not, whether you have what it takes, to be in that marriage for a long term, because you want it to last. You don't want to get married for like 1 month and then get a divorce. That's not what we want, right? We want it to last. So the next question, the most common stereotypes orang selalu cakap dekat orang yang belum kahwin. I think everybody is aware of this. Like, I think biasalah when you go to gatherings, but now thankfully it's COVID, so lol. During gatherings, during kenduri or whatsoever, the makcik-pakcik will ask, oh, bila nak kahwin, stuff like that, right? I think, I know it's a bit of a pressure, but maybe we should take it positively. Like, they just anggap diorang tu trying to make conversation. They want the best for you. Just anggap like that. They want the best for you, and they're just trying to make conversation. So to be on the safe side, just say insyaAllah, if ada jodoh adalah, doakanlah untuk saya makcik or pakcik, like that. And then like when you don't have someone yet, they will say like, oh, nak jadi andartu ke, nak jadi bujang terlajak ke. You know what? This life is not just all about marriage. Yeah, it's the next big phase in your life, but it's not, if you don't kahwin, you dosa. No, it's just sunnah. It's Rasulullah punya sunnah, and you get to complete half of your deen, your religion, if you get married. But if you don't have the right qualities, you don't educate yourself on what you should be doing in a marriage, then tu pun tak boleh juga, kan? Alright, so the next one I wrote here, ramai sebenarnya yang tak tahu hak masing-masing dalam perkahwinan in a marriage. Apa antara hak yang paling basic yang perlu perempuan tahu? Okay, now this is because there are so many people who, they are kind of like pressured by their peers. Like when they see so many people jump into marriage, I understand that feeling, because whenever I go onto social media such as Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I see the people around me who are almost the same age as me, you know, almost the same age as in like either they are a little bit older or slightly younger. They are getting engaged, they are getting married, they are having children, you know. It always gives me a heart attack, not in a bad way, but it's just like, oh my god, like, you know, this kind of heart attack, like, oh my god, just the other day I saw her or him, uh, you know, it's just, you know, because you keep forgetting that they don't stay constant, you know, people change, you know, they evolve somehow. So it's just really interesting to see them getting on to the next phase, and you're just like, oh my goodness, that is so, like, sometimes it's so heartwarming, you know, like, I don't know how to express it, but it's just so, it makes you think, you know, it makes you think about yourself as well. And personally, and this is why people compare, you know, like, they keep comparing to themselves, like, okay, that person's already married, when am I gonna get married, or something like that. But you know, you have your own timeline, you have your own yeah, timeline basically. So yeah, just take it easy, work on yourself, you know. And yeah, okay, back to basics. Oh my god, I've been rambling, but yeah, this is why I need guests on my podcast, because if I talk on my own, I will ramble about unnecessary things. So basics, yang orang perlu tahu dalam perkahwinan, you know, you need to, before you jump into a marriage, you need to do research on what are your rights and responsibilities in a marriage, you know. I've been reading Ahmad Aslan's book Unbreakable, I think, and he mentioned that before he married his wife, he listened to Sheikh Hamza's podcast, not podcast, I think it was like lectures or something, but it's available on YouTube. Just Google, you know, just YouTube, rights and responsibilities, Sheikh Hamza Yusuf, and you will find it. And I've been listening to it, and yep, he mentioned the rights and responsibilities of a marriage. What is interesting is that, I think it's Ayman who mentioned this, bro Ayman Azlan. He mentioned that responsibilities fulfilled, oh my god, I forgot now, hold on. Okay, it's if you complete your responsibilities, rights will be fulfilled, something like that. Like, if you fulfill your duties or responsibilities properly, rights will be fulfilled. And I think that is so important. Like, you know, the Islamic guidelines is actually really is actually very immaculate, you know. There's already like some rights for both men and women, you know. Okay, men's rights are this, and women's rights are this, and if so happen that the rights are violated, there will be actions that should be taken. You know, I couldn't elaborate on that because that would take ages for me to do that, because even Sheikh Hamza's have like a whole 3 CDs, like it's so long, you know, to talk about it. But basically, before you get into a marriage, do your research on your rights and also your future husband's rights, so that you won't regret it, you know. Like, for example, the nafkah, this basic nafkah of a wife, like the husband should give her at least twice, 2 kali persalinan setahun, and he should give her money for groceries for herself, you know. Some things like that. And the wife should, okay, I don't remember what's the ones for husbands, but yeah, you can check that out yourself. Okay. The next question is that everybody have expectations. Yep. So how do we control those expectations so that it will be balanced? Tak terlalu over dan tak terlalu merendahkan diri. Okay, like the other day I watched this podcast, Iman Azman's podcast on Docs TV with her sister Amal. They were like talking about marriage, and they raised this issue of expectations versus standards. Expectations are actually very different than standards. Standards, like for example, you want to marry a guy with who are, you know, have broad shoulders, who will bring you on a date like once a week. That is standards, you know, which is a bit difficult to find, but I think it's not impossible. To be honest, I didn't find it impossible, but it will be a bit difficult. So expectations is like, you expect, for example, you expect him not to smoke, you expect him to do this, you know. And personally, if you ask me, I think you should really know yourself first before you have expectations for others, and you should really ingrain in your mind that would you want to marry yourself, like that. So would you want to marry yourself, and what do you have to offer in that marriage? And if you have those two questions in mind, you won't have expectations yang tinggi melangit, or even expectations yang the bare minimum. So yeah, like for me, I have two types of expectations. One is the wajib expectations that he have to fulfill that criteria, and the other one is not so wajib lah. So the expectations the wajib one that I have for my future spouse is that he must be a practicing Muslim. Like he have to. I'm not looking for someone who's like an ustad or like super religious or anything. Like he's practicing, like he's God conscious, you know. He's God conscious, and he is ikhlas with whatever he's doing. And he must have good akhlaq. He have to have like good manners overall. And I believe if we have these two qualities, then inshallah everything else will fall into place. And the not so wajib one, I don't think I should say it here. Maybe, well, it's a secret, but or maybe I can share you one. The other day I was talking with, I get to have a chit chat with my mom about this. The thing about marriage is that it's not something bad born, you know. It's just a bit embarrassing to talk about it with your parents, and but you know what, it's since it's something that you have to go through anyway, so you have to like approach your parents, you know. You have to start giving them hints about it, you know, that like, you know, like, guys, I'm already starting to think about this kind of thing, so I'm alerting y'all before I find someone, something like that, you know. I don't have anyone yet. I don't have any particular candidate in mind, but I'm starting to alert my parents about it, so that when I eventually found him, they won't be too shocked, you know. So I'm already starting to, you know, talk about them about this kind of stuff. So it's actually amazing, because when you start talking to them about these kind of stuff, they would somehow present to you their own expectations, what they would want for us in terms of son-in-law, in my case, you know. They're gonna say, okay, I do mak tak nak orang yang macam ni, mak nak orang you know. So it's important to start approach your parents, so that you can keep in mind what are the expectations for you in terms of your future spouse. So okay, the conversation that I had with my mom was that I asked her, Ma, is it okay if, you know, just in case the person I'm about to marry is a non-Malay? And she was like, dia macam terdiam sekejap, and then she said, after a while, she said, she's okay with it, cumanya she's worried about the religion part, you know. And I asked her, can you elaborate on that? And then she said, you know, when he's new to the religion, then I would have to teach him the, you know, like the basic things like puasa and all that. And she's just worried that I'm not that strong, you know. And she's always believed that it has to be the guy who is strong in the religion, so that he can teach his wife of the religious matters. But you know what's interesting about this? It's there are so many people in this world, and you know how Malaysian people think like this, like Melayu je mesti Islam, and Islam je mesti Melayu, something like that. But to be honest, Muslims don't necessarily have to be Malays. There are so many people who are Muslims who are not Malays, you know, because there are so many kinds of people in this world, and not all of them are Malay. So what I have in mind is actually, you have to be, in my case, I feel like I have to be open about this. Like, I'm not gonna search for just Malays. Yeah, I have to, because if I want to open the chances for me to find candidates, I can't just focus on Malays. So I'm opening my possibilities to other people as well, because there are so many people in this world. There's bound to have at least one person for me to get married to, you know. So he doesn't have to be a Malay. As long as he's a practicing Muslim, then he's good to go. So and what I have in mind is actually, he doesn't, you know, when I propose that idea, he doesn't have to be someone who's, you know, dia kenal, and then macam nak cakap, dia macam dia masuk Islam because dia nak kahwin with me. I don't actually like that, because I would definitely, you know, it will definitely cause a problem later in the marriage, because yeah, I don't want that. I want that person to already find Allah first. Like, he sincerely embraced Islam. He finds Allah first, then only he finds me, like that, you know. I don't want him to convert because of me. I don't want that. I really don't want that. He have to be sincere with his religion. So yeah, he could be anyone, like, you know. He doesn't have to be a Malay. So that's that. And then my mom further asked, it's going to be difficult then, you know, what about the culture, the language and all that? And I was like, you know what, I actually rather have challenges in terms of culture or language, rather than the kinds of problems that we face when we marry with our own race. I'm not trying to, this is just my opinion, you know, this is just what I have been feeling. Sometimes I feel a bit conscious to marry within my own race, because I don't exactly fully identify with my race. Like, I do appreciate my race. It's not that I don't, but it doesn't hurt, you know, to, entahlah, I don't know how to say it, but it's very personal. But you know how each race have their own traits, huh? It's like that. But I really wouldn't mind to explore the possibility of intercultural marriage. It would be really awesome, to be honest. Yeah. So I think I've actually have like so many things I want to talk about, but I think that's all for now. And it's such a how do you say, it's all over the place, and I'm not even sure if I'm making sense, you know. I don't think I make sense, but whatever. Yeah, as long as I get this out there. Yeah, so thank you for listening to my ramblings today. Hope you all have a good day, and please think carefully before you get yourself in a marriage. You know, you would want it to last. Like, personally, I am very careful in selecting a partner, because I want to be with him for the rest of my life, and also in the hereafter. Like, you know, it's you know, it's common sense, right? You want to end up with only one person, in this life and also in the hereafter. Yeah, of course lah, sometimes kita akan ada like divorce ke apa, kena auzubillah. And for my case, I really hope that he is the one, you know, he just one. I don't need too many people. I just need one, that one person that I can share my life with. And it's not gonna, and I hope we're not gonna have like issues in terms of the bad issues, you know, like abuse or whatever, emotional abuse or whatever. I really don't want that. That just sucks, you know. What's the point of having a marriage if that's gonna happen? Na'uzubillah. But yeah, I just want a happy marriage. Like, come on, you know. Yeah. So anyway, I should be ending this already. So thank you for listening, and bye.